Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 3 of Beyond the Beach, the talk of Southwest Florida. My name is Ed Ryan. I am your host and only host today. Kim is actually on a plane as we speak, so she won't be here today. And I have been warned to be on my best behavior. So if you're new to the show, for updates, you can go to the talkofsouthwestflorida.com and you can sign up for our free newsletter. You'll get updates on our guests and what's coming up every Friday night at 5 o'clock. Later in the show today, we'll be speaking to Seed to Table CEO Alfie Oakes about the upcoming school board election in Lee County and why he's backing Denise Nystrom in her race against Jada Langford. But first, let's go on over to Sanibel, where Mary Bondurant is hanging out with Leslie Rowan, and they're getting ready for October, which is Cancer Awareness Month. Mary, how are you?
I am super. How are you?
So nice to see you again. Last time we spoke was you were running for election.
I was running for city council here on Sanibel Island.
Now, do you still keep your eye on politics over there? Or
I sure do. I enjoy it very much, and I look forward to my future.
Now, what is it for the folks that are watching that don't know? What is it that you do on Sanibel?
Professionally?
Yeah.
I am a real estate professional with Kingfisher Real Estate.
Cool. And Leslie, what do you do?
I am a happily retired lady playing pickleball constantly.
Oh, the pickleball. We always talk about the pickleball. There just never seems to be enough courts, pickleball courts.
Well, we're blessed over here, so.
Yeah. So why don't you guys tell us how you got involved in Cancer Awareness Month? There's stories to tell about how it all started?
Yes, there is. As a matter of fact, I was diagnosed in 2010 with breast cancer and had a bilateral mastectomy up at the Moffitt Center. And I was at an event here on Sanibel with the Shell Museum, and the former chief of police, Dan Duncan, asked me how we could possibly get the mobile mammogram from Florida Radiology Regional to Sanibel. And this was October 4th or 5th. And I called over to Radiology Regional, and we had the mammogram here on a Saturday afternoon on October 20th, which we started calling it Let's Pink Out Sanibel and Captiva Islands. I sponsored that year about 20 to 30 mobile mammograms for people on the island that were uninsured or who had worked on the island. And so from that, it has just grown every year. We then added a picnic to the firehouse with the firemen, and we have that the third Thursday of October every year. And since then, we've added a beautiful tea at the Sundial Beach Resort, and we've added a pickleball tournament at the end of the month, and we're going to end the month with a nice Pinkaboo Halloween party at Sundial.
Nice. So, Leslie, before I ask you more about pickleball, how did you get involved?
Well, through Mary, she's my best friend. So we team up together and we go out, and Sanibel owners here on the island are so generous and give us many different gift cards and gifts for our raffles and for each event. So that's kind of my job. I'm the little minion that goes out and patrols the area to create little gifts.
Kim says she's watching on the plane.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
Watching from the plane. She loves the shirt. I'm
Yes,
sure she's talking about my shirt. Oh, maybe she's talking about your shirt. What's okay?
So this year, we have a shirt every year. Our previous shirt is the Let's Pink Out shirt, which we have and we continue to have every year. And this year, On Island, which is a retail shirt shop down on Tarpon Bay Road, sponsored the shirts. And the theme this year is Warrior. And all the proceeds from these shirts go into the Sandcap Pink Project. And we want to thank Kate Sargent for that.
Can you buy the shirts online, or do you
You can buy them online on her online store. You can come out to the farmers market October 16th, and we'll have them available there. That you can come on and visit Sanibel and go to the end of Periwinkle and pull right into the old Sanibel shops, and her shop is on the right-hand side.
What is the website address? Do you know? I don't mean to put you on the spot. What's her website address to get the shirts?
I believe it's on island.com.
Okay. All right. And we'll look that up just to make sure that we post it after the show is over also.
Right. But if they just want to go to pinkoutsanibel.com, that'll lead them to everything that we're doing. We're also on Facebook and Instagram at Sandcap Pink Project.
Okay, so this pickleball thing, Leslie, I imagine you could hold a pickleball tournament. You wouldn't need to hold any other fundraiser. You'd probably raise so much money from that. How did you get involved in pickleball?
Uh,
COVID.
COVID actually
Really?
happened, and everything shut down on the island. And I am fortunate enough to live in a condo complex that had 2 pickleball courts on it. So I had the paddles and the balls at my home. And I said to Mary and another girlfriend, and actually Mary's husband, I said, I had this pickleball paddles and ball. I don't know how we play it, but you want to come over and we'll play, because we were all looking for something to do.
Mhm.
And we all came over and we played, and we're running around like crazy people who had no idea what we were doing. And we said, wow, this is great exercise and
Yeah.
having fun. And through that, it has developed into a passion / addiction for both Mary and I.
And
Oh,
we've been very fortunate that the Sundial Beach Resort and Spa, the executive director there, Becky Miller, and Jeff Scott, offered to sponsor a pickleball tournament for us last year, which was, like, as you know, very successful.
Yeah.
And again, we're having it again this year on October 27th through the 29th. The women can come out and play in doubles. The men's can play Friday doubles, and Saturday can be mixed. So all levels. We're calling it a fundraiser, and we really want to really pink out Sanibel and make everybody aware of the importance of breast cancer and the importance of early detection and really taking care of ourselves.
And we have registered so far?
There's almost 100.
Okay.
100 teams?
Well, 100 players.
100 players.
Okay. So what's the registration fee, and where can people, I'm guessing people can go to Pink Out Sanibel and find the information for the pickleball tournament there too?
Yes, or they can go to sundialbeachresort.com and register directly online there as well.
Now, do you hold the tournament in one place, or do you have, there's so many
It's
people?
held there at Sundial. Sundial is one of the biggest pickleball court facilities we have on Sanibel, and it's also been rated number 2 in the industry for a place to come and play pickleball. So we're very happy to have 12 courts, so there's plenty of space and time for people to play.
Gotcha. And Leslie, just out of curiosity, how much money does it cost to buy a pickleball paddle? And how much is your paddle?
Well, that's a different story. Like, how many do I have and how much should they cost? You can get a good paddle for, I would say, $50 for a beginner. I wouldn't spend more than that, but you can get it online, even on Amazon, a $50 paddle if you just want to come out and just try it. It is a very welcoming sport for all ages and all levels of play. And I have to say, both Mary and I were so included and welcomed into the pickleball community that was already here on Sanibel, which is huge in season. But they were just so awesome to us because we didn't know what the heck we were doing back when. And, it's just been, it saved my life almost.
And I mean, Ed, so you can go into any store now, Target, Walmart, any of those stores, and they have paddles in there to get started with that are very good to start with.
Gotcha. And so, Leslie, I'm not going to really let you off the hook there. How much does your paddle paddle cost?
My last paddle
was about $100.
It was $140.
Oh, that's not too bad. We've talked to people that it's like having their own, expensive bike that they hang in the wall in their house. It costs so much.
Well, any sport that you love and you make a good investment in it, tennis rackets, pickleball rack, paddles, shoes,
clothes,
outfits, because you must look while you're out there.
We in the beginning, I said I might not play well, but I must look good.
Yeah. So on to other things. What kind of support do you get from the community for the events that you put on?
Right. So we have 4 events this year. We have the tea, as we mentioned, October 4th. Then we have the Pink Out Picnic, which is the original event that started 10 years ago at the firehouse. And then we have the farmers market where we're there for awareness. Then we have the Dink for Pink and the Pinkaboo. So this community really steps up to the plate. Sanibel's retail, restaurants, just general supporters have been behind us 100%. I mean, we have great involvement with our Sandcap Community Bank, Bank of the Islands. We have Sips Restaurant, who sponsors all the lunches for the picnic at the firehouse. This year at the pickleball tournament, we have Malia's from Spoondrift sponsoring the ladies' lunch during the tournament. And we have Mission Barbecue coming out for the guys on Friday. So we have 100% support, and we keep growing every year.
And so how many members of your organization are there now?
Wow, that's a good question. So the people really working on all of the events, there's probably a good 30 of us that are all grouped together. And every day, since we've been in the media and on Facebook and Instagram, we have been expanding that to survivors and to family members who've been touched by cancer that really want to reach out and support this. Our goal here on Sanibel is, you know, to have some kind of mammogram, whether it's the mobile mammogram or we have our own capital campaign to raise funds to have our own bus or maybe our own facility where we can have that people, women's particularly, can go whenever their mammogram is due and walk in and spend 15 or 20 minutes and have their mammogram done and be able to go back to work or just go back to whatever they were doing. And that's our goal here. And our goal is to find a cure and to support everyone in need. Because as a survivor, when you walk in and the first thing your doctor tells you is you have cancer, you know, that C word, you feel that it's the end. Yeah. And that doesn't have to be anymore, because with the research and the development and all aspects of cancer, you know, the technology and everything that's going on is so behind us that we are survivors. I'm sitting here today as a 12-year survivor, and I'm sitting here as a survivor from this community who supported me when I had 2 small children and was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I personally wanted to give back. And when Dan, the fire chief, came to me and asked me, I thought it was one way that I could give back to this community and say thank you.
When you first were diagnosed, Mary, how long was the entire process from that time to the time where you were cancer-free?
Right. It was probably about 2 years because I did reconstruction surgery. I had a bilateral mastectomy. And, you know, you have several surgeries to go through. You have possibly chemo before or after your diagnosis, and you have a healing process. And it's not only just a physical healing process, but it's an emotional one. And it's emotional one for everyone around you, including your family.
And I'm guessing you had all kinds of support, or how did it change your life from the minute that you hear the doctor say that to, you know, then, okay, the next day you got to, whatever the next day is.
How quickly you want to live and enjoy life, and that how short life can truly be. And so, you know, you just put those gloves on, become a warrior, and you fight.
So when you say you live life the next day, you just went out and started playing pickleball. Is that?
Yeah. I didn't know her yet.
If
I had been here, she would.
I really think you take a good look at your life and you examine what the priorities are in your life. And not that my priorities weren't my family first, but you start to say to yourself, you know, it's that old saying, you know, what are they going to say, you know, when you're gone? And what did you do for everyone? And, you know, you are really touched. It takes you on a journey that is just unexplainable.
Yeah. So this, tell us more about this, the tea party.
Oh, sure. So it will be from 11 to 1 at the beautiful Sundial Beach Resort overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. We currently have over 150 attendees coming. We have Lisa Spooner, who's being our MC from NBC2 News, which we're very excited about. She was with us last year. Her mother will be joining us, and a lot of the community members from all over Southwest Florida are coming. So we'll have the traditional high tea. We'll be serving tea in beautiful teacups that we have acquired through the community where people have donated them. Some of them are antique, some of them are from overseas. They're just a beautiful display of teacups. We'll have little treats to be given to everybody coming in. We'll have a beautiful raffle.
Champagne.
We're going to have some bubbly there, sponsored by Bailey's store. Thank you, Callie. And it's just going to be a fun gathering of awareness and camaraderie.
Is there anything on Sanibel that Bailey's does not sponsor?
No, they are probably one of our outstanding families on this island and 4 or 5 generations into it.
Oh, is that how long have they been there? Yeah, I mean, every time a press release comes out, it's sponsored by Bailey's, whatever's going on. So that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
you mentioned high tea, and of course, I know what high tea means, but there might be some people that are watching that have no idea what high tea means. What does high tea mean?
Well, it's usually done later in the afternoon. If it was traditional, we are doing it between 11 and 1. And it's where you have small, little, tasty little sandwiches, and you have sweet and savory items. And it would be a time in the mid-afternoon that you would sit and drink a little sip of tea and have a nice little petit four, or like I said, a tea sandwich.
Will you be toasting to the Queen as well, or is that not part of the tea thing?
Well, it's really not part of the tea, but we really respect her. And of course, I'm sure, who knows, maybe that'll come up in our 2 hours.
That was a dumb question.
Actually, Mary's the queen. She has Game of Thrones. She has like 5 crowns.
Oh my! So I'm already forgotten, Leslie. How did you two meet? Like you said, you didn't know her at the beginning of her journey, but where did you meet?
Well, Leslie's been coming down to Sanibel with her family since the 70s, and her parents lived on Sanibel for a very long time. And they were smart back in the day to buy a couple condos. And Leslie decided to move down from New Jersey about 5 years ago and make that her
6.
Yep, coming up on 6, and make that her permanent home.
Yep.
And so Leslie and I met through my profession, which is real estate.
Mm-hmm. So you do all these events. Is it only in October, or do you have other events throughout the year?
No, we like to really use the month of October for our campaigning the whole month to bring the awareness to everybody. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it is our goal to be able to maybe do a 3 and 6 month in the future awareness program here on Sanibel.
Gotcha. And explain how important it is and when people should go to get a mammogram.
Well, in my case, I was only 46 years old, and I got so involved in my life that, you go to the doctor, they give you these papers, they say, here, go get a breast exam. You're 46, you have young children, you don't think, well, hell, I'm healthy. And it was the mobile mammogram that I went into and had it done, and I got a call to say, you need to go see your doctor. And so I believe that breast exams, both for men and women, and knowing your body. I mean, we've had stories come across that from very young to very old, especially if you have any family history, that I think is very important. And I think just being aware of your body and who you are, and not be afraid, because people say something, feel something, and they feel like, I can't, I don't want to go find out, but you need to go. You need to go. You need to get checked. Not be afraid of this.
When you get all this money from all these events that you put on, where does the money go? What do you do with the money?
The money goes back into the community. So we have a lot of people who reach out to us who are uninsured, and they're our biggest folks. And we try to help them along with whatever needs that are related to their journey that we can help them with. We have currently a young mother on the island with small children. We have, another lady who is uninsured that is an employee on the island that needs some assistance. And so we're here for that. I mean, we've helped with children's lunches. We've helped with transportation to and from appointments. And we've been here just for emotional support. A lot of our committee members are survivors, ranging from just recently this week to, 20, 30-year survivors. And so we're here to support. We send cards out to people. Not everybody wants to be put out in the open in the beginning, so we're here for support. We're here to help.
Well, before we let you go, tell everybody exactly about the event again, or these events that are coming up, and how maybe they can get involved, or how they could.
Absolutely. So Facebook and Instagram at Sandcap Pink Project is probably the best way to go. October 4th is our pink tea at the Sundial Beach Resort, 11 to 1. The Pink Out Picnic, which is for everyone. Just go online, register for your lunch. It's sponsored by SIP, so you can drive through the firehouse. You can come and sit with us at the firehouse. The Ding for Pink is the 27th through the 29th, which is pickleball. And the Pink Aboo Halloween party at Sundial, 6:30 on October 29th.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Good luck with everything. We appreciate it. And thanks for all you're doing for breast cancer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a great
Let's
weekend.
pink out.
Let's pink
All
out.
right.
Thank you.
Mary
Bye.
and Leslie, you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for coming on. And right now, joining us for the second half of the show is the great Alfie Oakes. Alfie, how are you?
How you doing?
Doing
Wonderful
great.
to be here in sunny Southwest Florida, isn't it?
Right. We're getting ready for a nice, exciting next few days, right?
Well, I'm hoping it's not too exciting. I took one of the biggest beatings of my life, like a $17 million loss during Irma. I'm hoping it's nothing like that. I know that our whole community is hoping it's nothing like that, but we'll see. It's always exciting times.
So, Alfie, before we get into the school board stuff, tell us how business is.
Business is really good. I mean, the retail markets are doing phenomenal. Some of our other entities, like the processing business, with the input costs of everything just skyrocketing in Biden's America right now, are killing us on that front. Farm input costs are, I mean, insane, 200-300% increases. We're not talking about like what they're saying, a 15-20% increase of inflation. This is 200 to 300% increase just about across the board. I did an interview on Tucker Carlson for an hour, and it was an hour-long interview. It's been a few months ago, but I talked about how we're cutting our farm acreage back in half this year, which I've never done. I've been growing and growing and growing my whole entire life as far as our farm acreage, but we're cutting back because the input costs are insane, and we're unfortunately competing with Mexico, who is running more drugs across the border than ever on their trucks. So it makes it really hard economically to compete with them.
Crazy. So do you see any recovery anytime soon, or you feel like the administration has to change?
The only recovery is if we can have a red wave in 2022 here for this midterm, and then get this globalist clown out of there that's killing us.
How are you feeling about the Senate? The House looks okay, but how are you feeling about the Senate?
I feel better about the Senate than some people, but it all comes down to how much election fraud we can curtail. There's massive amounts of fraud. I'm going to be with a group that's going to be releasing a huge amount of information here in the next probably week to 10 days about some more massive election fraud that people haven't heard of, and I can't speak a whole lot about it right now, but it's massive. I even I'm going to be on a Zoom with the sheriff on Wednesday with a lot of the cyber guys. There was, believe it or not, there was a lot of widespread fraud right here in Florida during our primaries, and I think we're going to be able to show that. People are hopefully going to go to jail for it, and looking forward to trying to correct this system. This should not be a partisan issue. Making sure that your vote counts should not be a partisan issue at all.
Well, last national question. How is it looking to you as far as Trump or DeSantis for president?
Well, I mean, I'd love to see either one of them. I think Trump would be a better president just because of the experience that he's had. He's got 4 years under his belt in D.C. He's had time to realize of all the people that stabbed him in his back. DeSantis has been bold, but being governor is not the same as being president. I would love to see DeSantis as president after Trump completes his term. But if you ask me who would be the more effective president, I think Trump has got just a superior knowledge of the lay of the land in the very corrupt environment, the swamp that we call Washington D.C. And I think because of that specifically, I have close to 4,000 employees. I pride myself on the success of our business. How I got from the back of the pickup truck to here was by being able to surround myself with good people, but also identify characteristics in people that make them effective. And obviously Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis are both incredibly effective men. But if I had to, either one, I would be elated to have. But if I have to pick the best one, it would definitely be Donald Trump. And on this, it reminds me of the school board. So I'm very much behind Denise Nystrom and Brendan Leslie that is doing the podcast here at See the Table sometimes. He's for Jada and I think that Brendan,
before you get to that, Alfie, you've had some history with the Lee County School District, the school board. Is that over with? Is that anything you can update us on?
It's not even close to over with.
Okay.
I can't comment a lot except for I can tell you they're nervous. That we're kicking their ass. We know what they did. They violated my First Amendment rights. They operated out of the sunshine. Really, really terrible things that they've done there. And I can't wait for our day in court. We're set up to go in front of the federal court in front of the judge here for trial in February.
Okay, February.
And I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, so Denise, you were talking about maybe a little bit of a split because a lot of the times with you and Leslie and we're all kind of on the same.
Hey, this is America. That's the great thing about America. We can Brendan Leslie can decide to vote for Biden if he wants to, right? So, but I think it's Brendan Leslie. That's his personal trainer. He knew her way before she ever decided to start to run. So there's a personal relationship. One thing I don't like to do is I don't like to put my personal relationships into who I'm getting behind as a person that that's running for office. We just had this thing with Byron Donalds and the fact that Kelly Licker is doing his wife. That the personal things do not determine who's the best candidate just because of your personal relationships or your personal rights. I understand if Byron doesn't want to vote for her, I get it 100%. But if someone was suing my wife and they were the best candidate, then that's who I'm going to get behind. You got to leave the personal things out of it. I think Brendan's made it personal, and he's a young man. He's got a lot to learn. And Denise Nystrom has been showing up. She's been to 10x more school board, maybe 20x more school board meetings over the last year and a half than Jada does. She's a hardcore conservative. I've vetted her very hard, and I know that we want to say, oh well, she's from up north, she's from New York. Well, Brendan's from up north too. So is Donald Trump, and they were there. And Donald Trump was a Democrat before. I'm telling you that I know Denise Nystrom's spirit, and that. And I'm not saying, first of all, I'm not saying that Jada Langford Fleming is not. I'm not saying that she's a bad candidate. She's not. I think she's an America First candidate. But if I'm figuring out who I'm going to hire for the job, I know that Denise is much, much more effective. She's much more of a bulldog. She's a fighter. And she is for all of our conservative values. Make no mistake. Everything that I've seen from her has been where she is out there on the line fighting for cutting the budget. I mean, this budget for Lee County schools is insane. $2 billion. Yeah. It's insanity. And I guarantee you, I could run that school system for $1 billion less and give them twice the education. And I'm hoping to actually, after we mop the Lee County school board up and I take all that taxpayer money, I'm not going to use it for my personal self. I've pledged that I will take the money that I get, whatever money I get from the Lee County schools. I'm going to open up a school in Lee County. Okay. I went to school in Lee County, and I'm a product of Lee County schools, which were very good to me. I went to Tice Elementary in East Fort Myers, and then I went in Cape Coral to Colusa, and then North Fort Myers High School. And I have an affection for Lee County, even after they tried to violate my First Amendment rights. We're going to correct that.
The question I have for you is, how hard do you think it's going to be for Denise to win? Jade is in the machine. For one thing I've learned being in Lee County is when you're in the machine, you don't just get half the machine behind you. You get a gigantic machine behind you, and they're behind her. So how hard do you think it's going to be for Denise to pull this one out?
Well, it's going to be tough. I think we're going to work hard to get the word out. I mean, hopefully people get on the ground, and really this is a time more than ever where we can't listen to the establishment. Terry Miller has done a great job at pushing a lot of establishment politicians out of that area, and it's really sad what's going on in the Lee County REC, in my opinion. I came in as state committee man here in Collier County, and we transformed our REC from a very much rhino, almost Democrat REC, Republican REC, we changed it into people that are America First candidates, and that's why we've been able. You even got our own REC backing the America First candidates that all came in first place here in Collier County. But unfortunately, it has not evolved that way in Lee County. I pray that people pay attention to what happened down here and that we get America First candidates back, because nothing more than I despise more than a rhino, someone that wants to put an R behind their name. And I'm not a fan of the Republican Party at all. And I'm at the REC meeting, every single month, and then Bob as a state committee man. But the Republican Party is slimy, just like the rest of it. This is all, just like the rest of the politicians on both sides. And it's getting really hard to find people that are true to our liberties, to our individual liberties, and not true to their self and their own pockets. And that's what DC's filled up with.
Do you think Jada is a rhino? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm not going to say that she's a rhino. I'm not. I think Jada's a good person, and I'm not. I'm just saying that the people that are there's a lot of candidates that unfortunately that Ron DeSantis got behind that aren't the best candidates, and I don't. Donald Trump did the same thing. Donald Trump got behind some candidates that were very mediocre candidates, and there's always someone that's in their ear. Corcoran up there in Tallahassee is in DeSantis' ear, speaking to him about who he likes, and that goes a long way. And we have Susie Wiles is who determines who Trump gets behind in the biggest ways. I mean, Trump ultimately makes the decision. DeSantis ultimately makes the decision. But when you have these other people that are intermediaries, they paint a different picture sometimes, and then they do things that maybe aren't the best. But it's only because obviously they don't have the time to dig in and spend. I've probably spent 200 hours with Denise Nystrom to get to know her, and I spent a lot of time with her before I decided that I was going to back her, because I don't like to get buffaloed. This is a very crucial time in history where I think that we all learned this in the last 2 years, that all these little local positions, these local elections, have in tremendous consequences.
Yeah.
And we have to have, it's not about how smart you are. I don't even care about how smart you are. I care about how bold are you. How much are you going to stand on your conviction that when the stuff gets tough and the teachers unions bring it all on, and you got these superintendents, I mean, the whole system is corrupt, as we know. But when the pressure comes on, who's going to be able to stand the ground? Who would I want to be in the foxhole with?
So this whole thing in Lee County about electing the school superintendent now came out of left field. What is that all about?
It's sad. I mean, and I understand, like, there's always a reason for it, because these superintendents have been, like, they're pushed by these left-leaning groups, right? That actually they find all the superintendents for all the schools in the country, right? And we know who funds them and where they come from. So I understand wanting to elect them, because the people would probably elect someone better than most of the ones that have been almost installed by this leftist group. But at the end of the day, the superintendent needs to work for the school board, the people that are elected. That's the way it's supposed to work. They get elected, they call the shots, they decide who the superintendent is going to be to work for them, and the superintendent takes orders from them. Somehow in the course of the last 20 years, it's all come ass backwards, where these teachers unions really bring in these really strong superintendents that actually dictate to the board of how they want it to go, and it has been going that way for a long time, because they've done a great job finding these kind of weak, feckless people on the board. The board of Lee County, it's really terrible. I feel bad for Lee County that they have so many weak members in that position, and with that much of a budget, we would like to have somebody that's got enough maybe business sense. When we see the massive amount of fraud that's happened there, my deposition that came out, we in that deposition, I unleashed on a lot of fraud that was happening, and they're investigating on it now. So I hope it goes somewhere.
So for people that are watching and listening, why should they vote for Denise over Jada? Why are you voting for Denise over Jada?
It's simple, and I'm not going to trash Jada at all, because I think she's a good person and could be a good candidate, just not nearly as good as Denise is. Denise is tenacious. She's worked harder on the campaign than Jada has, and she's more worked hard directly with trying to make change within the school board over the last year or so. While I was very much involved in the Lee County, what was going on in the Lee County School Board from afar, I was paying a lot of attention of it, but not really immersing myself in it because of the lawsuit. I got to see the fruit of what she's capable of, and I mean, if she doesn't work out if it doesn't work out where she's a school board candidate, I'd love to bring her to work, because she's an amazing hard worker and got a great work ethic, and I can tell you that she couldn't be more conservative. I really don't like it when we take, I remember everyone's telling me, oh, all these people coming down from New York and from these northern states, and we all saw the stuff, don't New York our Florida. Well, guess what? Like 70% of the people that have been coming down here are voting to be Republican or not nonpartisan, and so a lot of it's not all liberals up there.
Right.
We're seeing 7 out of 10 people that are moving down from there that have much more of a conservative mindset.
Whenever I post something on our Facebook page about Denise, who we are in favor of also, people are immediately contacting us that she's toxic, and all the conversations that I've had with her, there's been none of that. I have no idea what they're talking about.
I've never seen anything toxic about it. She's fighting for the position. She's been nothing but respectful. I don't know where that comes from. I know that I saw Brennan was on there saying about her friends that she hangs out with. I know a few of her friends. I know that Jacqueline Perez is, you may like her, you may not like her, but she's done an amazing job at exposing a lot of the corrupt behavior that's been going on within the school board, and she's incredibly valuable to getting to the truth and finding and really smoking out a lot of the corruption that's been going on in there. And that's why they hate her. That's why the establishment hates her so much. The establishment hates Jacqueline Perez. They probably hate Denise Nystrom because of some affiliation of being a friend or something. But I think that Denise's intent is to come in there and really try to clean up the school board and the school system, the Lee County school system, from this corruption.
Any final thoughts, Alfie, before we let you go?
No, just thank you for having me on the show. I love Lee County, grew up there, and I hope everyone really does their research. Don't listen to just what I say or what someone else says. Try to get to meet the candidate a little bit and see what you think about them, because this is a crucial time where those candidates are so important that we need to take the time to vet them ourselves.
All right, Alfie, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend.
Thanks so much. You as well.
All right, Alfie Oakes, everybody, from Seed to Table. Thanks to Alfie for coming on. Thanks to Mary for coming on, and also Leslie. And we will be back next Friday. Hopefully, the house will still be standing, and the storms won't be too bad next week. And of course, we'll be on Beach Talk Radio tomorrow morning. We will be covering the school board again tomorrow morning, and the elected. The plans to try and get the superintendent elected. And we're back next Friday at the home studio. You all have a great weekend. Thanks so much for joining us, and bye-bye.